Would you like one simple trick to make your next speech twice as good as your last speech? Well, here it is. Let's say you've got to give a speech. It's a similar speech but to different audiences. Perhaps you are a branch manager and you have to give a speech on new policies to 14 different branches throughout a 2-state area. What do you do? What most people do is they prepare their speech in advance and then they just give the same speech, more or less the same way, to all 14 branches. So it's not going to improve. You might get a little more comfortable, but it's not going to be really any better for your employees, for the audience. That's not what great speakers do. What they do is they give the speech, then after the speech they'll go up to people, or people come up to them and say, "Good job." Say, "Thank you. Tell me, what do you remember from the speech? What stood out? What was helpful?" And quite often, an employee or an audience member will reference a specific case study or story you gave, maybe in the question and answer session. And you now know, okay, when I want to communicate that point, let me use that story. So the next day when you're giving the same speech to another audience, you rearrange the structure of your speech so that that example, that story, that case study that you used 35 minutes in during the question and answer session, you now lead with that story to put a spotlight on that idea because you know that it works. Great speakers use every single speech they have as a mini case study, a mini focus group to make their next speech a little bit better. So really listen to what your audience remembers and then make sure to do it again. Quite often I find with so many clients and myself, it's when someone in the audience asks you a question, it triggers a very, very specific memory of something that happened to you, a story. You tell that story. It's easy for you. It's easier for the audience because it's highly specific. It's a story. They can see it, taste it, visualize it. It works for them and it works for you. So constantly be looking for those to rearrange, refine, and improve every single speech. Do that and your speeches will improve dramatically. I'm TJ Walker. Thanks for joining me. If you would like to be a better speaker, please come back to this page regularly and like it. Facebook.com/TJ Walker Speak to Influence.